Oh, welcome back to Mount Hill Limited. The sound is fixed again. Briefly, the audio went fuzzy for a second. Thankfully, we fixed it, so don't worry. So last time, we've reached the 60s. Everyone's got a new focus tree. For better and for the worst. I may have screwed up the Congo, but who can truly tell? So yeah. There's also a random British unit in the middle of Egypt. Oh, he's definitely getting overthrown. So letting time pass, we've still got some orbital stuff to do. Alright, yeah. The South Koreans taking over. South Korea. We're still doing our 5-year plan. Create new customer goods production clusters. I'm still not sure if I'm doing it correctly, but I hope I am. So starting to finish. And the Soviet orbital rendezvous, most recent endeavour by the Soviet space program, resulted in significant foreign affairs, both on Earth and above. The Soviet astronauts successfully piloted a spacecraft through orbit and conducted an all-day rendezvous with another group of astronauts about a manned Soviet satellite. Truly, this event marks the landmark of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics status of the world stage. Clearly, the efforts part of the national space program to elevate the Union of Socialist in the eyes of the great powers of the world, with more come. In measure, the Union of Socialist Republics takes the lead, and is the only one leading, with the US only doing 2. The Congo crisis. Without dignity, there is no liberty. Without justice, there is no dignity. Without dignity, there is no liberty. Without justice, there is no dignity. Without independence, there are no free men. Patrice Lumumba. What is worth it? Was it worth it? So, Katanga, led by the Confederation of Social Tribes of Katanga, versus the UN-backed Republic of Congo. I doubt this will last very long. Yeah, this is not going to last that long. Rest in peace, Katanga. captured. Don't really care. Get that. Expand the intercity public transport. Algorithm this. There we go, taking the state. Ho Chi Minh is still leading them, even though Ho Chi Minh is dead. Truly a great leadership. The US is trying done its first free. As expected, the Katangans sadly failed. Rest in peace, Katanga. Go off to get some supply, lads. Do that. Invest in non-black soil regions. Get that. Okay. Alexa, set time for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Completely forgot my Alexa. Silly old me. Trader's brother's speech. Today, General Secretary Johann Kopling of Austrian Democratic Republic drastically increased tensions with West Austria, calling in an immediate overthrow of the illegitimate and treacherous government of occupied Austria. This speech has already brought condemnation by both the United States and the Soviet Union, believing that its unnecessary provocation in one of the most tense regions of the world, although criticized both world powers for the speech known in Austria as Die Rede der Verräterischen Brüder, or the treacherous brother's speech, has been widely popular among East Austrian populations. Kopling has already received waves of support to form a massive swelling of the Communist Party of Austria, or the Communist Partie Österreich in West Austria. Sporadic instances of peaceful dissidence among the working class has seen sharp increase, although it's highly unlikely a revolt will occur. Its unseeable future, regardless the speech is effective international, it appears it has accomplished the primary goal of popularizing the communist movement in the eyes of the East Austrian people. Interesting. Oh, it's here. Very interesting stuff.
Почему это всегда мне
Alright, you've been effectively re-healed. Send you back into the fight. Soviets. Nigeria is now an independent country. The independence of Nigeria was achieved this week through negotiations made by a comprehensive coalition of Nigerian political parties, which then had a more complicated task of reforming a new government. Eventually, this arduous task resulted in the Prime Minister being Abu Bakar Tafawa Bola of Hausa descent of the Northern People's Congress, which underneath his ethnic Ingu, him with the ethnic Igbo President Numambi Azikiwe of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons. Much like the British ex-colony, the Nigerian Federation will be choosing to stay a part of the Commonwealth and continue to have English II be their official monarch, with British General Secretary C.B. Wildy Avron remaining as the new Nigerian head of the new Nigerian Armed Forces for the next few years, a new nation. Nationalizing the Nigerian Railway Company. Desert warfare. Get a forward air control. Did I say?
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
John F. Kennedy reading his speech that is already on the thing. Hail to the chief. The abolishment of the Iraqi monarchy. Following the Iraqi revolution, Brigadier Abd al-Karim Qasem and the leader of the Iraqi Free Officers announced the abolishment of the monarchy, formally to the Iraqi Republic. Here's formation of the Republic of Iraq. The revolution is not politically destroyed an institution, it physically disseminated during the revolution when the Free Officers oversaw the mass execution of senior royal family members and their supporters. As a new constitutional framework develops, it will be along the lines of a republican government. For many Iraqis, the monarchy represents imperial control over the country. Throughout Iraq's history, the king constantly sided with the British over the Iraqi people. Within the military, this is the most acute route during the Anglo-Iraq War in 1941, when the Hashemites backed the British invasion of Iraq to crush the Iraq's government. In the monarchy, the interests of the elite and their backers dominate the government. Now, as a republic, power will return to Iraqi people. The end of an era. Now, before they can get ratified the interim constitution, they just need to declare Islam as a state religion. Yeah, they have a pro-Soviet policy, that's a good thing. They still haven't had their elections, but that's not for another 2 years. Expand storage bottlenecks. Get you and get mega scale supercomputers. Get you and send you to check up on China. We may be able to get Xuan Lock. There's really a lot of support for Xuan Lock. Oh my god. Reform through Caucasus. You don't have a focus tree anymore. Hey, no. Republic of Syria exists. I wonder who's going to invade it first. Turkey or Greece? You're going to be criticizing East Germany's liberalization. Do you have anything to do with Cyprus? No? Well, I guess to check out what people are doing. For 961 hits. You're executing suspected corrupt officials, you're encouraging acts of mercy in policing, you're constructing socialist model in recently acquired territories, you're getting capitalist interest groups, you're improving the Kalashnikov, the AK, you're getting a Yugoslav People's Navy, you're getting Air Force supremacy traditions, you're getting universal healthcare, you're founding the Adol Zuzul Assemble music group, I think. You're investing in civilian engineering, you're getting to the BMPs, you're inviting the Beatles, your Americanization, getting Americanization. You're getting pacifism, we have no idea. Raise military salaries, not what I want to be on. You're modernizing the Malaya Road. I think that's basically it, yeah. You're getting universal healthcare as well. The assassination of Rafael Trujillo. Last night, on May the 30th, or the 30th of May, El Jefe is Last night was the 31st of December. El Jeffe's Travel Bel Air was intercepted by a vehicle full of gunmen while en route to San Cristobal from Santo Domingo. The vehicle pulled up behind Trujillo's car and on the deserted highway and tailed it before opening fire with CIA-supplied M1 carbines as Trujillo's damaged car was ground to a stop on the highway's shoulder by a chauffeur. The vehicle contained the armed men pulled in front of it, blocking the path as an intense, although one-sided, firefight ensued between gunmen and armed Trujillo, along as his chauffeur, eventually wounded. Trujillo attempted to escape his blood-ridden car, only to be gunned down in the middle of the street. The gunman that packed his body into the vehicle sped away into the night, leaving the wreckage and the blood behind for local police to find. One less death spot in the world. So Ramirez Trujillo is now in charge. Still no focus tree. Does Korea have a focus tree? Now I think about it. Well, sort of, yes. Japan, which party you got? You're turning more communist, which I like. The Guerra du Ultramar. The United Nations is useless and is also harmful. It is the land of flowers. There's demography, a bunch of newborn countries devoid of any tradition. Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. Oh! The MPLA is now a thing, as well as the King of Congo. Still no focus rate. The Baxter de Cassanger revolt. Angolan workers at a cotton plantation run by a company cotton gang launched a massive protest. The goal was to push the company into improved working conditions. This led to a violence against the Portuguese employees at the plantation. News of the workers' protest saw a local village join in, turning it into a revolt against the Portuguese colonial government. In response to these events, the colonial government deployed military force, the air power to suppress the uprising. The military action killed hundreds, and the village Boy was being bombed indiscriminately by the Portuguese. The brutal suppression would greatly anger the Angolan anti-colonial groups. The movement for the liberation of Angola spread rumors that civilians were tens of thousands, while further inflaming Angolan feelings. Another African war. I think it's the only, excluding Egypt, African war. So, yeah. Do you wish to call Egypt African? It's a debated subject. We're spawned the MPLA. God save Agostino Neto. Operation Powder Pack. The United States has been intervened on the ongoing Dominican Civil War. It wasn't a civil war. At least 3 brigades of combat troops supported by airborne elements landed in the early hours of San Indraso Air Base. They quickly advanced into Santo Domingo, where the U.S. military confirmed it successfully established an international security zone covering the embassy and the surrounding areas, or Organization of American States, or OAS. The Americans argued the intervention was necessary to facilitate the evacuation of foreign nationals and practically OAS peace progress in the country. Many Dominicans are outraged by what they see as foreign intervention, that many pointing out American operations bolstered the loyalist faction, drove off advancing constitutionalist rebels in the area. We crossed the region, and there is an anti-American protest, and many denounce it as a return to gun policy in the early 20th century. Concerning However, they do one-party socialist in Cuba, and do Castroism. Just my personal opinion. Yeah, I can't save you. Alright. Raise agricultural purchase prices. We have 133. We need 155 and 180 to smelt, so we're getting there. Surely but slowly, we're getting there. The Beatles tour Poland. I think the Polish people will love the Beatles. The Beatles are very popular. You don't seemingly have anything left to do. Huh. Increase their funding. Okay, we don't go overspending, but it. Introduce Sovnarkov Regional Goods Distribution Management. Continue to watch the Battle of Zwanglock. International Confederation of Free Trade Unions call for sanctions against South Africa. The International Confederation of Free Trade Unions, or Hoi4, who recently called for sanctions against South Africa for its policy of apartheid. Members of the union are being told to pressure their respective national and local businesses to refuse orders from South Africa. The Hoi4 was originally founded by unions from non-communist states who felt other international unions were under communist control. In recent years, its membership has swelled with unions from newly independent states in Asia and Africa. It is in these unions who are said to be leading the effort to punish South Africa. South Africa said that it will be watching the situation closely as many foreign suppliers may be forced to cut orders to avoid conflict with workers. Interesting. They probably won't. Pakistan launches blockade of the Afghani border. The recent incursion of Afghan soldiers in tribal areas along the relentless Pashtunistan border. Propaganda coming out of Kabul has infuriated the Pakistani government. It has decided to retaliate by initiating, that's what it is, a blockade of land trade into Afghanistan. The vast majority of imports of Afghanistan come to Pakistani ports, and this decision is likely to cripple the Afghan economy unless it finds new trade routes. Now it's triggered angry Afghan protests at Pakistan's diplomatic sites across the country. The Prime Minister Durrani Khan called for the decision an act of war and said Afghanistan would have to look for other neighbours for support, hinting at widening the ties with the Soviets. This has caused the Americans to urge the restoration of peace in both countries as they fear the Soviets are using the tension to gain a foothold in Afghanistan. We have no idea what you're thinking. So which one of these? I think it's this one. So they're going to war. Eventually. The resulting havoc, American influence under Cuban politics has radically changed the country. For many purposes, whether if socialism prevails or radical reactionaries take hold of the glorious Cuba, both spectrums of revolution are still attained their purpose. Victory of communism against the capitalist swine. I don't know what happened there. Somewhat strange, that's for sure. Meanwhile, back here. We get this. Get air transportable armored fighting vehicles. I have no idea why their strength is so low. So strange. Get polyporites. Yeah, Egypt's about to collapse. Like, straight up. Oh, this is awful. The UAR is under Khalid El Nokrashi. Basically destroyed its entire focus tree. For better or worse. The Coptic Republic exists under Esfa for now, which doesn't have a focus tree. And the UK has one side of the canal, and with the entirety of the Nile, excluding the top bit. And Lebanon now founds the entirety of this. So what are allies doing? You're covering up regional cultural differences, you're introducing progressive taxation, you're offering amnesty to low-ranking clergy members, you're modernizing the Greek fleet, not what I went to press, you're doing the Bulgarian debt crisis, you're cutting military spending, you're studying Soviet attack helicopters, you're getting minority rights, you're in a 5-year plan, you're licensing the BR-60. You can't do anything. You're rebuilding destroyed monasteries in Western Territory. You're getting the R-17 Elbrus missile. You're getting gender and minority rights. We have no idea. You're further integrating socialist realism into Burmese culture. Yeah, there's no industrial thing you can do. Does all this. We have no idea. So it looks to be that Kim has returned. Now that's CWIC. So not being a Soviet pact. You don't have a focus tree. We got you. Expand regional consumer level planning. Russian, we are still kind of way away. Yeah, actually make progress. Maneuver. We'll be finished in about a minute. We're trying to push him, but it's going nowhere. Hitting a brick wall. That's finished, and the last focus for today. Implement public control in Sovanakov's decision system. We're still mighty behind. Let's trade. Alexa, stop. Okay, so I have no idea where all those are going. Probably 54 of them are going to here. Things are going decently well. Will we hit the target on time? Probably not, but I don't see a exact, time thing, so I think we can just hold off on it till we believe we've got the amount. So we've got 79 and doing 54. I think once we've done all of these, or at least the majority, I don't know how many. I need to check if there's a way to speed these up. That hopefully we can get it done, and hopefully I can secure it. But anyway, that's for next time. A slight overview of what our allies are doing, because it may have slightly changed. In East Turkestan, led by the CWIC Turkestan Club Equali Party under M. Majid Quazim, they're going to be Darkwood Film Productions, even though I don't think that's a Uyghur name. The Hez Trude Iran, led by Raza Radamesh, is getting 60s urbanization campaign. In Kurdistan, led by the Partiya Karakare in Kurdistan, is led by Ahmad Tawfiq, is investigating remaining tribal leaders. Turkey, led by the Türkiye Komünist Partisi, led by Nazim Hikmet. You're bringing to light European atrocities in Africa, which is part of this thing. In Greece, you're getting the new Kvet, led by the Komunistiko Komo Eladas of Costa Kolegianes. In Albania, led by the Partia Epunis Esquiripis, led by Liri Bilashova. They're expanding the radio network. In Bulgaria, led by the Bulgarska Komunistchaka Partija, led by Anton Yugov. You're cutting wages. In Romania, led by the PartidulMunitaresc Roman, led by Miron Constantinescu. They're all getting a Special Forces Corps. In Hungary, led by the Magyar Radicalist Part, led by Imre Nagy. You're getting fuel efficiency. In Austria, the Austrian Democratic Republic, led by the Kommuniste Party Österreichs, led by Johann Koplenig. You're getting distinguished East Austrian identity. In Czechoslovakia, led by the Komunistička Strana Czechoslovenska, led by Gustav Husak. You can't do anything because you haven't got a focus tree. In Poland, led by the Polska Zjednoczona Partia Robotnicka, led by Władysław Gomulka. You're offering greater job opportunities. And finally, in the German Democratic Republic, led by the Sozialistische Einheitspartie Deutschland, led by Wolfgang Harrich, you're getting the T-72. You still got Western sanctions and all that stuff. Oh, you're gonna get Albrecht. Very interesting. Oh, that is for all. So next time, this will probably be a slog again. Well, hopefully allying our our allies in Angola and hopefully winning. I'm not entirely sure if we are or not. Also, Portugal does not have a focus tree. Anyway, everything looks in ship shape. You're actually independent now, led by the Democratic Party of Guinea. Anyway, that seems to be all. So, for now, till next time I see you, this is Mount Unlimited signing off. Good day, goodbye, goodbye.